Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. Are BRICS nations already using XRP? We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.09 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.2% at the time of making this video. Bitcoin is 26,000, slightly over. 1652 and change for Ethereum, and Tether market cap 82.8 billion plus, ladies and gentlemen. And we see XRP at the number 5 spot at 52 cents, off by 0.7% in the 24-hour and off by 3.4% on the 7-day. Let's take a look at this. This is the home of the best private equity, whether we're talking about quantum computing, artificial intelligence, fusion energy, the first ever commercial space station right here. We're talking about the best company for blockchain infrastructure, Ripple. It's all right here, no doubt about it. If you're accredited, make sure you click the link underneath the video and get you some private equity before it runs out, because it doesn't last forever. This is Uphold Vault coming soon. Now, I'm not going to play this clip because I played it last week, but I'm showing you this to remind everyone that Uphold has been cutting edge when it comes to bringing the best options, features, customer experience. I tell you, I just had an amazing experience with Uphold. I was making a move from one account to another, and it was a sizable move. And you know what? For the first time ever, I dealt with a human being. I spoke to a human being that reached out to me because of the size of that transaction. I cannot tell you how good it felt to speak to a real human. Unbelievable. And it's not stopping there. This Uphold Vault is going to allow you a level of security with multi-signature possibilities. I tell you. Click the link if you have not done it and get your Uphold account opened up so you can take advantage of that Uphold Vault for XRP holders first. Starting with us first. And they never gave up their conviction on XRP and kept it listed the entire time. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I love them. Yeah, and then there's this. I wanted to remind everybody about the Digital Dollar Project partners with Western Union. If you remember this, we talked about it not that long ago, but I'm showing this because of the really, really huge moves and news that we've been seeing in the last handful of weeks. Let's say since the case came out with the summary judgment ruling with the SEC versus Ripple, declaring that XRP in and of itself is not a security. Ripple ODL corridor between Japan and the Philippines, SBI remit. Ripple and Nevada, Australia, Philippine corridor through partnership with iRemit. BDO Bank of the Philippines and RAK Bank of Dubai with the Digital Dollar Project. Ripple, Accenture, Bank of England, joining the dots. That's what we're doing here. We're joining the dots to see what actually transforms and out of all of this motion and announcements that we're seeing. What I want to play for you now is a clip that Marcus Treacher is speaking. Now, Marcus Treacher's not at Ripple anymore, but what's next for blockchain and how should it be regulated? Let's take a look into considerations into regulations. Well, I want you to hear what Marcus Treacher says, and then I want to talk about it.
We will head in a similar way.
Yeah, I think the idea of ubiquity is really critical. So most people, as you say, don't really care about the gadgets inside the box. They care about something being usable. So Netflix bundles up a whole bunch of really cool, creative ideas, but what counts is what you can watch and if it's fun, and if it's better than getting a DVD from the local shop. So I think blockchain, in my view, will evolve in a similar way. There won't be a blockchain thing that people care about in the future. There'll be really cool things that are created that people will render or whoever will relate to, that will contain elements of blockchain. It's just getting that, that one first killer play out. That's how the internals of blockchain will become much more mainstream.
I think he's right on it. And what if that one killer application ends up being X? We know that they have licenses, a license issued in a few states so they can actually become a payment company as well as a social media platform. We know the goal is for X to be a super app. That's why it's rebranded from Twitter. What he just described there to me is exactly what we're looking at with the possibility of X moving into a position to be able to move money on a social media app without sharing your personal information. This could be that desirable platform on the retail use case side that could drive an enormous amount of liquidity into the system and use case. Let's not forget this while we're looking at what could be use case. I'm not showing you this because of the projected price. XRP taking a share of derivatives market could instantly send XRP to $1,000, which is certainly true. It certainly could, but that's not my focus. My focus here, again, is another use case to settle derivatives back end. And this article talks about a 10% capture could send XRP to a $1,000 price. I could see that. I don't know when it would happen, but I tell you what, I know that whether you're talking about settling derivatives or whether you're talking about settling transactions from everyone around the world moving money on a social media app, XRP and the XRP ledger are geared and poised perfectly, I believe, to be a choice for solution. Then we see this. Remember the IMF director? Or IMF document, actually, rather, that came out that positioned XRP as a solution to enhance cross-border payments. Let us not forget, the X platform is a global platform. To resolve the issues of cross-border payments, the IMF paper suggests that a greater utilization of swap lines, tokenized money, and transnational marketplace, however, it also makes a case for further consideration. One such consideration is XRP. If we come down here, it entertains three. It talks about Ripple XRP, open source marketplace such as Stellar Foundation, or more recently DeFi markets, and marketplace settlement asset based on unbacked crypto assets such as Strike. And then it talks about the possibility of leveraging Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. I think we all understand that there's some hurdles there that do not exist with XRP because they started from the beginning of making payments the real focus. So keep your eye on that. Then we have this. The recent announcement, think of all these use cases I'm showing you now. Then we had the recent announcement here of BRICS, and we saw that the paradigm, the new global paradigm for BRICS is expanding. And it is transformational and historic. No question about it. Shout out to Gold Telegraph. Argentina, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, all added to BRICS. Other phases will follow concerning expansion, and it goes on. But this is what we want to focus on. We know that there are huge oil producers between Iran, Saudi Arabia, and certainly United Arab Emirates, right? Collectively, bringing those three in with the other BRICS nations is 80% of the world's oil produced. How about that? That's a massive, massive number. Now, with that being said, what about the idea that we could be seeing XRP on-demand liquidity live in BRICS already? Well, shout out to Zach Rector here. Take a listen to what he says.
All right, so we set the internet and Twitter on fire with our claim that BRICS loves XRP and that XRP is already being used by BRICS. Now, what folks get confused on is they're waiting for the announcement from BRICS that we've accepted XRP as our new reserve currency. That's not there. That's not coming anytime soon. But what is already live is on-demand liquidity, which settles with XRP in 5 of the 11 countries that are now part of BRICS. So you have Brazil, India, Africa, Argentina, and the United Arab Emirates. And these are the 5 nations where on-demand liquidity is already live. This is not up for debate. Now, is the BRICS group as a whole, have they accepted XRP? No. But there are countries within BRICS where ODL XRP is live. That is not debatable. That is straight facts. And so you guys can take that to the bank. You can take that to BRICS. wherever you want to go. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting that they are at least interested in XRP.
There's no question about it. He is not wrong. He is right. And I went to Ripple Insights here to back him up on this, because exactly what he said is exactly the way it is. Ripple expands on-demand liquidity to nearly 40 payout markets. Now that's news in itself from last year. But today, Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solution, announced on-demand liquidity, which is the settlement using XRP, customer momentum globally in new regions of Africa, Argentina, Belgium, and Israel, which are not in BRICS. And as the current fiat-based RippleNet customers upgrading to on-demand liquidity is Australia, and Brazil, which is in BRICS, Singapore, and the UAE, United Arab Emirates, which is in BRICS starting January 1 of 2024, the UK, and the US. So there you have it. Now, whether it is a collective adoption, like Zach talked about, is another matter. But the reality is it is being used in individual use cases inside of these countries. The fact that it is a real solution, that companies and financial institutions and banks are actually using it, do you think they're going to turn a blind eye to it? No, I do not. My speculation tells me that they are about to use this in scale. That's what we're talking about here. Another thing I wanted to float by everybody very quickly here is this. Think of the understanding that BRICS, besides announcing the new members that will be joining BRICS, they also said they plan on doing a BRICS currency, like a reserve currency in the future. But until then, they certainly plan on trading more in their own national currency over choosing the US dollar. Think of it. What you're doing there, look, Argentina, no slight to them, but they have a dollar that is getting crushed with inflation. Other countries inside of BRICS also have smaller trading corridors. This is perfectly suited for something like ODL and XRP for settlement, because now you're going to see more activity in these smaller trading pairs where normally they would choose the US dollar in previous times past, right? But now they're going to start relying more on their own currencies, which is going to create more friction and more need for a bridge asset to solve that problem. You know, people talk all the time about, well, they could just use stable coins. They could just use CBDCs to settle. Yes, they could. But all you're doing in that scenario by taking away a bridge asset like XRP is digitizing and tokenizing the same problem from the paper world to the digital world. I don't believe for a second that they're going to miss the opportunity this time around to really come up with a new form of money, which is XRP, ladies and gentlemen, and push the liquidity onto the XRP ledger, albeit a private central bank ledger or a public ledger. I feel at the end of the day, the idea is to really breathe life into a bridge asset like XRP with liquidity and utility, which equals value over time. Now, before we get out of here, speaking of value over time, Egrad Crypto puts out a chart here. He says XRP bull market line, and you can see bull market line 1, bull market line 2, and I'll quickly break this down and essentially say the history that we've seen in 2017 to 2018. He picks some pivotal price point moments here in that scenario, and then repeats that fractal and those important points of price and overlays them on where we currently are today. So when it went from 0.06 of a penny to 2 cents, and then when it went up again and then pulled back, went sideways, and then went up and shot up to its all-time high of $3.84, I believe it was. And then we had a few years, we hit the $1.92, and then we retraced to where we are today, right? Bringing it to that point, what he's showing here is that if we get above the $1.20 market or $1.20 mark, it will show to him on the charts that essentially the ride to the higher prices we've all talked about are clear in the front of us, and they will be achieved at some point in the future. And that to me is extremely exciting. And here he shows, if you repeat these important price points here, over here, you would get $1.20, then you would get the $40 mark, and then you would get the $400 mark. Now, if you go from 0.006 of a penny to when we went to 384, it was a handful of months. If you go from when we were at the 20-cent mark to 384, I believe that was about 26 days. So if history were to rhyme, not even repeat, but rhyme, who knows what we could actually see. And looking at all the different use cases that I just went over with you, how hard would it be to believe that this could happen? Not financial advice from me or anyone else, but it isn't hard for me to believe, and it's exactly why I'm here. I'll catch all of you on the next one.